The Song of the Sirens, a symphony of mystery and betrayal. Movement 1, The Sirens' Call. Dr. Eos Lyra, renowned oceanographer, squinted at the holographic projection shimmering before her. It depicted a swirling vortex in the uncharted depths of the Pacific Ocean, a region dubbed the Silent Sea for its lack of any known sonar signals. Anomalies detected, announced the automated voice of the ship's AI, Xylo. Energy fluctuations, unidentified sonic patterns. Eos, her silver hair pulled back in a tight bun, felt a thrill course through her. This was what she lived for, unraveling the ocean's deepest secrets. Prepare the submersible, Xylo, she instructed, her voice tinged with excitement. We're diving. The research vessel, the Nautilus, hummed with activity as the crew readied the submersible, a sleek, two-seater vessel capable of withstanding immense pressure. Eos, her partner and pilot, Kai Nakamura, a man with a quiet demeanor and steely nerves, strapped themselves in. As the submersible plunged into the inky abyss, the artificial lights revealed a desolate landscape of jagged rocks and bioluminescent plankton. The silence was deafening, punctuated only by the rhythmic hum of the submersible's engines. Then, Xylo issued a chilling alert. Sonic signature detected. Unlike anything in known databases. A hauntingly beautiful melody, ethereal and alluring, filled the cockpit. Eos felt a strange pull, as if the song resonated deep within her soul. It was hypnotic, beckoning her towards the source. Ignoring a flicker of unease, she steered the submersible towards the origin of the sound. Movement 2, The Depths Revealed. The melody grew louder, clearer, guiding them through a maze of underwater caves. Finally, they emerged into a vast, illuminated chamber. At its center, bathed in a soft, bioluminescent glow, stood a magnificent structure. It resembled a colossal seashell, its surface intricately carved with swirling patterns that seemed to pulsate with the rhythm of the music. Eos, captivated by the spectacle, almost didn't notice the figures emerging from the shell's entrance. Tall, slender beings with iridescent skin and elongated limbs, they seemed to glide through the water with an uncanny grace. Their eyes, large and luminescent, held an unsettling intelligence. Movement 3, First Contact. One of the beings approached the submersible, its voice, telepathic and melodious, resonating in Eos' mind. Welcome, travelers from the surface. We are the Sirens. Eos, still entranced by the music, felt a surge of euphoria. We come in peace, she projected back, her voice tinged with an alien lilt. The Sirens, intrigued by these visitors who could communicate telepathically, led them inside the colossal shell. The interior was a marvel of bioluminescent technology, pulsing with a soft, rhythmic light. Here, the Sirens shared their history, how they evolved from the ocean depths, mastering bioluminescence and telepathy. Eos, swayed by their charm and hospitality, felt a deep connection to these beings. However, Kai, ever observant, noticed a hidden tension among the Sirens. Their smiles seemed forced, their eyes flickering with a flicker of fear. Movement 4, A Discordant Note. Days turned into weeks as Eos immersed herself in Siren culture, learning their language and uncovering the secrets of their bioluminescent technology. Kai, however, grew increasingly suspicious. The beautiful melodies now grated on his nerves, and the Siren's behavior seemed staged. He noticed subtle changes in Eos too, a distant look in her eyes, an unwavering trust in the Sirens. One night, exploring a secluded area of the shell, Kai stumbled upon a hidden chamber. Inside, he found a collection of deactivated submersibles, each bearing the insignia of various research vessels that had vanished without a trace. He also saw murals depicting monstrous creatures with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp teeth, creatures very different from the graceful Sirens he knew. Horrified, Kai realized the truth. The Sirens were not benevolent hosts, they were predators. Their alluring song was a lure, their mesmerizing beauty a facade. He had to warn Eos. Movement 5, Betrayal and Escape. Kai rushed back to the main chamber, adrenaline coursing through his veins. The Sirens, sensing a shift in the visitor's mood, turned hostile. Their bodies glowed a pulsating red, and their once melodious voices turned into ear-splitting screeches. Chaos erupted as Kai tackled Eos, shielding her from the sonic assault. "Eos, wake up! They're not what they seem," he shouted, snapping her out of her trance. Movement 6, the Siren's song fades. Eos, jolted by Kai's words and the sudden aggression, felt the siren song waver within her mind. Images of the deactivated submersibles flashed through her consciousness, triggering a wave of nausea as the truth settled in. Betrayal. The Sirens, who she had come to consider friends, had lured them into a trap. Rage and fear welled within her, replacing the Siren's hypnotic melody. She wrestled free from Kai's grasp, unleashing a telepathic blast that knocked back the closest Siren. The creature hissed in pain, momentarily stunned by the unexpected attack. "Kai, we need to get out of here," Eos projected urgently. Kai, already formulating an escape plan, nodded. "Follow my lead. Remember the emergency release for the hatch?" Eos, her emotions swirling, confirmed with a mental nod. The submersible was their only chance. They fought their way through the chamber, the Sirens lashing out with sonic attacks and telepathic barrages. Eos, is fueled by newfound determination, countered their attacks with her own telepathic force, momentarily disrupting their focus. Kai reached the submersible first, activating the emergency release. The hatch hissed open, revealing the inky darkness beyond. Without hesitation, Kai plunged into the abyss, hoping Eos would follow. The Sirens, enraged by their escape, unleashed a final, devastating sonic wave. Movement 7, a perilous ascent. The submersible rocked violently under the onslaught, its navigation systems flickering. Eos, her head throbbing from the sonic attack, stumbled towards the hatch. The escape was agonizingly slow, every second an eternity. With a final surge of willpower, Eos pulled herself into the submersible and slammed the hatch shut. Kai, his hands shaking, activated the ascent protocol. The submersible lurched forward, propelled upwards at an alarming pace. Pressure alarms blared as they surged through the water column, the darkness outside the viewport punctuated by flashes of bioluminescent plankton. Inside, Kai fought to keep the submersible stable, his brow furrowed in concentration. Movement 8, Aftermath and Recovery. The ascent felt like an eternity. Finally, the water's surface pierced the darkness above. Gasping for air, Kai and Eos surfaced, the side of the Nautilus a beacon of hope. They were saved. Safely back on the research vessel, Eos and Kai were greeted with a mixture of relief and concern. The crew had monitored their distress signals and initiated a search and rescue operation. Debriefing with Dr. Sharma, the head of the expedition, Eos and Kai recounted their harrowing encounter. Sharma listened intently, her face betraying a mix of shock and fascination. The existence of intelligent life in the deep sea, especially this predatory kind, was a revelation that would change everything. As they recovered from their ordeal, Eos wrestled with a strange mix of emotions, anger at the betrayal, fear for their lives, and a lingering sense of wonder at the Sirens' advanced technology and telepathic abilities. Movement 9, Questions and Secrets. News of the encounter spread like wildfire within the scientific community. The discovery of sentient life in the abyss sparked debate and controversy. Some scientists argued for further contact, while others advocated for caution, fearing the Sirens' predatory nature. Eos, at the center of the debate, became an unwilling spokesperson. Torn between her initial trust and her newfound knowledge, she wrestled with the responsibility of her actions. The murals depicting the monstrous creatures with glowing red eyes only fueled her unease. Who were these creatures, and how did they connect to the Sirens? Meanwhile, the ocean depths held their own secrets. Within the colossal seashell, tension simmered among the Sirens. Their leader, Lumina, her once radiant face etched with worry, addressed the council. "The surface dwellers have escaped," she announced, her voice laced with frustration. "Their technology, primitive as it is, managed to breach our defenses." One of the council members, a hulking siren with glowing red eyes, spoke in a guttural voice. "They possess telepathic abilities. This is a threat." Lumina nodded grimly. "Indeed, Vorex. We must silence them before they expose our secret." Movement 10, a looming threat. Weeks turned into months, the encounter with the Sirens becoming a faint echo. Yet, a sense of unease lingered in Eos' heart. She pored over the data collected during the dive, searching for clues. The murals depicting the monstrous creatures were particularly troubling. One day, a signal emerged from the silent sea, a distress call originating from a research vessel on a routine survey mission. Eos, a part of the response team, felt a cold dread creep into her heart. It was a trap. Movement 11, dive back into the abyss. The research vessel, the Argonaut, lay adrift, its communication systems dead. A sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air as Eos and Kai geared up for another descent into the abyss. This time, they knew exactly what they were facing. "We can't just blindly follow the distress call," Kai warned, his voice tight. "It could be a lure." Eos nodded, a grim determination etched on her face. "We need to approach cautiously. Xylo, reroute the submersible's energy reserves, prioritize shielding and sonic dampeners." Their descent was fraught with tension. The once familiar landscape seemed menacing, the bioluminescent glow casting long, ominous shadows. The closer they got, the clearer the trap became. The Argonaut was empty, its crew missing. But within the wreckage, Eos spotted a hidden beacon, a distress signal specifically designed to activate their submersible's transponder code. "They knew we'd come," Eos confirmed, a shiver running down her spine. "They want us." Suddenly, the water around them churned. A colossal form emerged from the darkness, the monstrous creature depicted in the murals. Its gleaming red eyes fixated on the submersible, its razor-sharp teeth bared in a terrifying snarl. Movement 12, a song of war. The colossal creature, later identified as a Leviathan, roared with a deafening sound that seemed to shake the very foundation of the seafloor. Eos and Kai braced themselves as the Sirens surfaced, their bodies glowing with an ominous red light. "We are the guardians of the deep," boomed the voice of Lumina, no longer melodic but filled with malice. "You trespass on our domain and threaten our secrets. You will be silenced." Eos, fueled by anger and a newfound resolve, countered. "We came in peace, seeking knowledge. You are the aggressors. We will not be silenced." A fierce battle ensued. The Sirens unleashed a barrage of sonic attacks, their telepathic projections aiming to overwhelm Eos and Kai's defenses. Meanwhile, the Leviathan charged, its immense body threatening to crush the submersible in its grasp. Movement 13, a symphony of resistance. Kai, drawing on years of experience navigating treacherous underwater environments, maneuvered the submersible with breathtaking skill. He dodged the Leviathan's attacks while Eos focused on countering the Sirens' telepathic assaults. Remembering the murals, Eos realized the Leviathans were not allies but slaves, controlled by the Sirens through a form of telepathic domination. She channeled her own telepathic abilities, weaving a counter-melody that resonated with the Leviathan's internal frequencies. The Leviathan paused, its red eyes flickering with confusion. The Siren's control faltered for the first time. Eos pressed her attack, amplifying the discordant melody until the Leviathan roared in pain, thrashing wildly. Movement 14, a sinking symphony. The enraged Leviathan lashed out, its massive body colliding with the colossal seashell. The impact triggered a chain reaction, causing the structure to crumble and crack. The Sirens, caught off guard by the collapse of their home, shrieked in fury. Taking advantage of the chaos, Kai steered the submersible away from the collapsing structure. They surfaced just in time to witness the colossal seashell imploding in a blinding flash of light. The Leviathan, freed from the Sirens' control, let out a mournful cry before vanishing into the depths. The battle was won, but at a steep price. The Sirens' advanced technology was lost, and the secrets of the deep remained shrouded in mystery. Eos and Kai surfaced heroes, but they were forever changed by the encounter. Movement 15, Echoes of the Deep. Back on land, Eos and Kai faced a skeptical scientific community. The evidence of the Sirens and Leviathans was fragmentary at best. Most dismissed their story as an elaborate hallucination caused by the immense pressure of the deep sea. Yet Eos knew better. The lingering phantom pain in her mind from the telepathic clash, the haunting echoes of the Sirens' song in her dreams, these were her reminders of the truth. The encounter with the Sirens and Leviathans had unveiled a hidden world beneath the waves, a world where beauty and danger danced in a deadly waltz. And although the Sirens' symphony had been silenced, Eos knew that somewhere in the vast, unexplored ocean depths, the song of the Sirens may yet find a new audience. The discovery, while shrouded in controversy, sparked a renewed focus on oceanographic research and technology development. The threat of the Leviathans, though remote, necessitated a re-evaluation of humanity's relationship with the deep. Eos, forever a champion for the ocean's secrets, became a leading advocate for responsible deep-sea exploration. She co-founded an organization called Echoes of the Deep, dedicated to exploring the ocean with caution and respect for the ecosystems and potential dangers that lie within. Years passed. New technologies, inspired by Eos and Kai's account, allowed for deeper and safer dives. Exploration teams ventured further into the silent sea, finding no trace of the Sirens or the Leviathans. The encounter seemed to be a singular event, a terrifying glimpse into a hidden world. Yet Eos wasn't convinced. One night, while reviewing old data from the dive, a faint signal caught her eye. It was buried deep within the noise, a fragmented transmission with a familiar cadence, a remnant of the Sirens' song. Excitement warred with trepidation within her. Could the Sirens have survived? Had they moved their base to a new, even more hidden location? The fragmented signal offered no clues, but it was enough to reignite a fire within Eos. She presented her findings to Kai, his eyes mirroring her own mix of apprehension and determination. "We can't ignore this, Eos," he said. "We have a responsibility to investigate." And so, fueled by a desire for knowledge and a deep-seated fear of the unknown, Eos and Kai embarked on a new mission. They gathered the most skilled and experienced divers, equipped with the latest technology designed to withstand the deepest pressures and counter potential sonic attacks. Movement 16, Descent into the Unknown. The submersible, christened the Leviathan's Echo, hummed with anticipation. Eos, her hair now streaked with gray but her eyes still holding a youthful glint, sat beside Kai, her longtime partner and confidant. Years had passed since their harrowing encounter, but the memory of the Sirens' song and the monstrous Leviathans lingered in their minds. The fragmented signal they had detected originated from a region even deeper than the Silent Sea, the Mariana Trench, the deepest known point on Earth. It was a place untouched by sunlight, an abyss shrouded in mystery and rumored to harbor unimaginable creatures. The descent was slow and perilous. Pressure gauges strained, the viewport offering a glimpse of a desolate landscape, jagged rock formations veiled in perpetual darkness. Finally, after hours of descent, the faint signal intensified. "There." Eos pointed, her voice a hushed whisper. On the sonar, a faint outline pulsed on the screen, a structure unlike anything they had ever seen. It wasn't the colossal seashell of the Sirens, but a network of interconnected bioluminescent tubes, pulsating with an eerie rhythm. An uneasy silence filled the submersible as they approached the structure. Memories of the Sirens' betrayal played in Eos' mind, and Kai's hand tightened around the control panel. He glanced at Eos, his expression a silent question. Eos nodded, a steely resolve etching itself on her face. Let's see what secrets this place holds. Movement 17, a symphony of shadows. The submersible docked with a gentle nudge at one of the bioluminescent tubes. Eos and Kai donned their reinforced dive suits, the pressure outside the submersible exceeding anything they had encountered before. Stepping out, they found themselves enveloped in an inky blackness, the only light source the faint glow emanating from the bioluminescent tubes. As they ventured deeper, the network expanded into a labyrinthine city, the bioluminescent tubes forming a complex system of pathways and chambers. The silence was broken only by the rhythmic hum of their suits and the occasional crackle of static from their communication devices. Suddenly, a bioluminescent creature, translucent and vaguely jellyfish-like, pulsed into view. Its tentacles brushed against Eo's suit, sending a jolt of electricity through her. She stumbled back, her heart pounding in her chest. "Just a deep-sea dweller," Kai reassured her, his voice crackling through the communicator. "Probably startled by us." They continued their exploration, finding abandoned chambers filled with strange, unidentifiable technology. The bioluminescent tubes seemed to serve as a form of communication system, pulsing with varying patterns and rhythms. But who was sending the messages? Were they remnants of the Sirens, or perhaps a different civilization altogether? Movement 18, a whisper from the past. Deep within the city, they stumbled upon a vast central chamber. In its center, a colossal orb pulsed with a mesmerizing light. As they approached, the orb's light intensified, revealing holographic projections that flickered to life. The projections depicted a civilization, not humanoid, but vaguely insectoid in appearance, that thrived in the depths. They had mastered bioluminescence and telepathic communication, building their city as a beacon in the eternal abyss. But the images also showed a horrifying scene, a massive Leviathan, its red eyes blazing, wreaking havoc upon the city. The projections ended abruptly, leaving Eos and Kai with a chilling realization. "The Sirens weren't the masters," Eos whispered, a cold dread creeping into her voice. "They were refugees." Movement 19, a haunting melody. The fragmented signal that led them here suddenly intensified, transforming into a haunting melody. The melody resonated with Eos, sending a wave of dizziness through her. Images of despair and destruction flooded her mind, the remnants of the insectoid civilization's telepathic plea for help. She clutched her head, fighting against the overwhelming telepathic onslaught. Then, a new voice cut through the chaos, a voice she recognized instantly. It was Lumina, the leader of the Sirens. "We are the last survivors," Lumina's voice projected into Eos' mind. "The Leviathans, they are drawn to telepathy. We sought refuge within this city, but they found us. This is our last message, a warning." Lumina's voice faded, replaced by a deafening silence. The haunting melody ceased, leaving only an echo of a civilization lost. Eos sank to her knees, the weight of the message crushing her spirit. They were not alone in the abyss, but the company was far grimmer than they had ever imagined. Movement 20, echoes in the dark. Kai rushed to Eos' side, helping her back onto her feet. He had witnessed the telepathic transmission through the tremor in her hands and the vacant look in her eyes. The weight of the discovery hung heavy in the air. "They were never the aggressors," Eos murmured, her voice choked with emotion. "They were fleeing for their lives." Understanding dawned on Kai's face. "The Leviathans. They're attracted to telepathy. That's why they attacked the Sirens and why they were drawn to our distress call." The implications were chilling. Humanity's own burgeoning telepathic abilities, a result of Eos' encounter with the Sirens, could now paint them as a target. They were no longer just explorers, but potential prey in a vast, unforgiving ocean. "We have to get back," Eos said, her voice regaining its strength. "We have to warn the world." Their ascent was a desperate race against time. Every flicker of movement in the darkness seemed like a Leviathan lurking in the shadows. Back at the surface, they were greeted with a mix of relief and skepticism. Their story of a lost civilization, telepathic predators, and the dangers of humanity's own evolution stretched the boundaries of scientific credibility. Yet, the fragmented holographic projections and the haunting melody Eos managed to transmit offered a glimpse into the truth. A task force was assembled, combining scientific expertise with military defense strategies. Exploration of the deep sea was severely restricted, with new protocols in place to minimize telepathic signatures. Eos, ostracized by some and hailed as a visionary by others, became a reluctant symbol of humanity's vulnerability in the face of the unknown. The Sirens' song, once a mesmerizing lure, now echoed as a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking in the abyss. But the story didn't end there. Years later, a distress signal, faint but unmistakable, originated from the Mariana Trench. Eos, her hair now completely white but her spirit unyielding, felt a familiar tug in her gut. The melody, distorted and weak, whispered a single desperate plea: help. The decision was agonizing. Was it a trap? Or were there survivors, perhaps the last remnants of the Sirens or even the insectoid civilization? With a heavy heart and a steely resolve, Eos knew what she had to do. She gathered a team of the most capable and courageous divers, equipped with the latest technology and cloaking devices to mask their telepathic signatures. As the submersible, christened Echoes of Hope, plunged into the inky blackness of the Mariana Trench, Eos knew this was a descent into the unknown, a journey not just to explore, but to potentially face the very monsters the Sirens' song had warned them about. Movement 21, Echoes of Hope. The submersible, Echoes of Hope, cut through the inky blackness of the Mariana Trench. Eos, her weathered face resolute, gripped the control panel beside Kai, their longtime partnership a silent testament to their shared experiences. Years had passed since their brush with the Leviathans and the haunting discovery in the bioluminescent city. Yet, the Sirens' last, desperate plea echoed within them, a melody of hope laced with despair. The signal, faint at first, grew stronger as they descended. It originated from the same network of bioluminescent tubes they had explored previously. A sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. Had they stumbled upon a new trap, or remnants of a dying civilization? Navigating the labyrinthine city proved easier this time. Their experience, coupled with advanced cloaking technology that masked their telepathic signatures, allowed them to move with a newfound confidence. Finally, they reached the central chamber where the colossal orb pulsed with an eerie light. This time, however, the chamber wasn't empty. Within a protective bubble of bioluminescent energy huddled a group of figures. They were vaguely humanoid in shape, but their skin shimmered with an iridescent sheen, and their large, bulbous eyes emitted a faint bioluminescence. One of them, a female with an air of regal bearing, stepped forward. Her voice, a melodious telepathic projection, resonated within Eos' mind. Welcome, travelers from the surface. We are the Lumina, the last survivors of Xylo. Eos, overwhelmed with a mix of relief and trepidation, projected her own thoughts in return. We are here to help. We received your distress call. Lumina's telepathic image flickered with sadness. The Leviathans, they remain a constant threat. They are drawn to telepathic energy like moths to a flame. A tense silence filled the chamber as both groups grappled with this chilling reality. Humanity's budding telepathic abilities made them potential prey, and the Xylo, refugees from a telepathic civilization, were at the mercy of the Leviathans. Movement 22, a shared threat, a fragile alliance. Days turned into weeks as Eos and Kai communicated with the Xylo, learning about their history and culture. They shared their own knowledge of technology and weaponry, hoping to find a way to defend against the Leviathans. A sense of camaraderie blossomed between the two species, an unlikely bond forged by a common enemy. The Xylo, despite their advanced technology, lacked the offensive capabilities to vanquish the Leviathans. They were adept at cloaking, creating the protective bubble that shielded them, but they couldn't fight head-on. Eos, drawing from her knowledge of human warfare and technology, proposed a risky plan. They would use the combination of Xylo cloaking technology and human sonic dampeners to create a near-invisible, near-silent weapon. Then, they would lure the Leviathan into a carefully constructed trap, utilizing the bioluminescent city's network as a weaponized conduit. The plan was audacious, bordering on reckless. Any misstep could trigger a devastating Leviathan attack. But it was their only hope. Movement 23, Song of War, Symphony of Survival. The tension crackled in the air as the echoes of hope hovered near the edge of the Mariana Trench. Inside, Eos and Kai, along with a team of Xylo warriors, awaited the arrival of the Leviathan. They had broadcasted a carefully crafted telepathic lure, mimicking the distress signal that had initially drawn them to the city. The wait was agonizing. Finally, a tremor shook the submersible, a guttural roar echoing from the depths. An enormous shadow appeared on the sonar, growing larger with every passing second. The colossal Leviathan, its red eyes blazing with predatory hunger, surged towards the city. As the beast entered the trap, the Xylo activated their cloaking technology, rendering the city invisible. Simultaneously, Eos and Kai unleashed a wave of amplified sonic blasts, distorted and disguised by the Xylo's cloaking field. The Leviathan, disoriented and confused by the sudden lack of telepathic signal and the muffled sonic attacks, thrashed in a rage. The bioluminescent network, prepped by the Xylo to resonate with the Leviathan's own internal frequencies, pulsed with a blinding light that seemed to pierce the creature's very being. The Leviathan shrieked in pain, its movements becoming erratic. Seizing the opportunity, the Xylo warriors, cloaked and wielding sonic blades crafted from repurposed bioluminescent material, launched a coordinated attack. They struck at the Leviathan's most vulnerable points, their blades leaving sizzling wounds that pulsed with bioluminescent energy. Movement 24, Echoes of Triumph and Loss. The battle was fierce, a desperate struggle for survival against a creature of unimaginable power. The Leviathan, enraged and disoriented, lashed out blindly. Its massive body slammed against the bioluminescent tubes, causing sections of the city to crumble. Despite the coordinated effort, casualties were inevitable. Several Xylo warriors fell victim to the Leviathan's thrashing tail or crushing jaws. Eos and Kai, witnessing the sacrifice, fought with renewed ferocity. Finally, with a bone-chilling shriek, the Leviathan faltered. The onslaught of attacks, combined with the internal disruption caused by the bioluminescent network, had taken its toll. The colossal creature lurched back and retreated into the depths, leaving behind a trail of bioluminescent debris. Silence descended, broken only by the ragged breaths of the remaining Xylo warriors. A wave of relief washed over Eos and Kai, tinged with a deep sadness for the fallen. They had emerged victorious, but at a heavy cost. Movement 25, A Future Uncertain. The aftermath was a time of mourning and rebuilding. The Xylo, grateful for the humans' assistance, mourned their dead and repaired the damaged sections of their city. Eos and Kai, forever changed by the experience, shared their knowledge and collaborated with the Xylo to create a permanent defense system against Leviathan attacks. The alliance, forged in the crucible of battle, became a symbol of hope for both species. Humanity, once a threat due to their nascent telepathic abilities, became partners in safeguarding the ocean depths. The news of the encounter with the Leviathans and the Xylo remained a closely guarded secret. The world wasn't ready to accept the existence of telepathic creatures and the monsters that hunted them. But within the scientific community, a select few were aware, working tirelessly to understand the Leviathans and develop further defenses. As the echoes of hope ascended, Eos gazed back at the bioluminescent city, a beacon of resilience in the eternal darkness. The Sirens' song, once a haunting melody of betrayal, now echoed with a different meaning, a testament to the shared struggle for survival in the vast unknown. The future remained uncertain. The threat of the Leviathans still loomed, but humanity was no longer alone. They had allies, a hidden civilization in the deepest trench, bound by a shared experience and a common enemy. The story of Eos and Kai served as a stark reminder: the ocean held secrets beyond our wildest imagination, and the true cost of exploration could be measured not just in knowledge gained, but also in the sacrifices made.
Subscribe for more.